Hey guys, I'm a senior software engineer at Amazon, and as part of my code review process, one thing which I found out is people are not utilizing what JavaScript Arrays is giving. So this video is all about that. So what I'm doing is I'm creating two variables here, one with the name of bad way and one with the name of good way. So in the bad way, we'll try to see how generally we do things with the arrays, and then in the good way how we should do. So I'm gonna console both of these things. And the first thing which I'll be talking about is arrays.add. So let's consider you want to find out the second element of this array, which I have defined here at the top. So you want to find out the second element of the array. Quite simple. All you can do this is by x and then square brackets, and then you can give 1, which is the second index, and that will literally give you the second element of the array, which is good. But then consider a case where you want to find out the second element of the array but from the last. So how you do this? So in general, what we do is we just go write x and then the element of the we do x dot length, and then we reduce or not -1 -2, because it's second last, and then we reduce that what element what we want, and then it gives us the second last element of the array. But then there's a property is that array dot add, and we can use that, and if I give a positive number it will give me the element from the beginning, but if I give a negative number there, not flat, it's so but if I give a negative number there, this will return me the element from the last. So if I give here -2, this will give me the element from the end. So this is one better way to use this. So let's consider you have to find one element in the array. Pretty simple, right? There is something called array to find, and then let's say you want to find something where the element is greater than 20. So what you'll do I'll just log it directly. Element greater than 20 equals your array dot find, and element is greater than 20, and then just return it. And if I run it, this is the one. Now consider you have to find something but from the last, which means an element which is greater than 20, not from the beginning but from the tail of the array. So if I have to do it in a bad way, how I'll just do first array.reverse and then find element which is greater than 20, right? And now if I run this, fine, I got it 50, which is greater than 20. But the right way would be, there is something called find last. So what I'll do there is I'll just find last element which is greater than 20, but I guess the array will be reversed, so I'll create a y which is x dot reverse, but that will also not work because the moment I do x dot reverse it will be stored in the, so I'll clone that into y, and then for the bad way I'll use y, and then for the good way I'll use x. And now if I run this, I've got the element from the end. Same way, let's say if we want to find out at what position that number is, use something called find index, and just basically what I'm doing here is replacing find with find index so that I can get the index back. And then for the reverse way, you have something called find last index. Now, yeah, I guess here, since for the bad way I'm just reversing the array first, so I have to reduce the length of the array as well, because otherwise it will give me the element from the beginning. So if I run this, yeah, so number index which is greater than 20, from the beginning it's 3 and from the end it's 7. Now consider you have to find out whether in this array there is any element which is greater than 20. So there are like multiple ways of doing this. One of the way is where you'll iterate over each of the element, and then after getting that element you'll try to find out whether that element or like if that element is greater than 20. If that element is greater than 20, then you'll set the your variable as true, otherwise it is false. This one bad way. There is another bad way, which is where you just filter out the array to find out what all elements are there which are greater than 20, and then in the end you will check the length of that array. So I'll try to print this as bad way 1 and bad way 2, and yeah, it will give me that yes. Now the proper way is you should always use, there's a property called sum. So I'll use x dot sum. This will return me a boolean value, and then inside it I'll give the same condition if the element is greater than 20. So, and now if I run this, yeah, this also gives me the same output. So next, let's talk about a case which will be very useful for those who do lot of JavaScript validation on let's say on a multiple form fields. So what I'm gonna do here is I'll create an array with some true and false boolean variables which represents the state of my form fields, and then I just want to find out whether the overall my submit button should be enabled or not. So I'm just creating up this thing. How we generally do this here is again I'll do this with a good way and bad way. So what I've seen most of the people do is they just iterate over the array using just a regular for each or a for loop, and then what they just try to do is they look over each and every element and find out whether it's like valid or invalid, and then based on that they set the variable or the state of the button. So that's what like I'm doing here. I'm just iterating over x, which is my array, and then checking if the value is false, and if it is false then I'm setting that variable bad way as invalid, and otherwise by default I'm just keeping it as valid. There are like many other ways to do this, but then this is just an example what I'm trying to show here. Now if I try to run this here, I'll see that it returns me invalid, which is expected but not a very good way to do this. So instead what we should do here is we should use a property called every. What it do is it checks each and every element for the specified condition and then returns a boolean. So that's what I'm gonna do here. I'll check the value for whether it is true or false, and then this every will check for each and every element, and then ultimately will return me whether like all of the elements satisfies this condition or not. And then once I get this, now I can use my ternary operator to find out whether the final output should be valid or invalid. So now if I try to run this, I get this as invalid. So this is also one of the right way to do an operation where we want to find out whether all of the elements satisfies a specific condition or not. And now since everything is true, the output is valid. Do let me know in the comment section how do you find this video. Thanks for watching.